Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pineleaf. I am back here in Scarhold, where it is now raining. I hope it doesn't get any colder, or perhaps it'll start snowing. But here is Vutro, the West Wind, and he doesn't seem to be very swift at the moment. So perhaps I could talk him out of going on to that expedition to the Anvil.
I know why you are here.
And I will save you the effort of telling me not to follow Horan's band to the anvil. I know that the others are saying. They think my injury will make me a burden. To them I say this. Karasgar did this to me. I was a scout, the swiftest Joruka in all these mountains, and with one slice of his cruel blades he robbed me of my greatest ability. For that I desire vengeance. I will stay behind when the others go to the anvil in pursuit of Karasgar, Pineleaf, but I want you to promise me something. If Horan's band is not able to slay Karasgar, if the Weeping Warrior manages to outsmart them at the anvil of Winterstith, I want you to help me achieve my vengeance. So I will stay here and rest my injured leg, but my thirst for vengeance will not sleep. In other words, he will only stay out of that battle for one purpose: to increase the chance of the other team winning and Karasgar getting killed. I mean, well then, let us go and speak to Diran. Hello, Diran. I spoke to Vutro.
If you wish to join Horan's raiding party, now is the time.
I know how difficult it is to stay out of battle. I know this too. Vutro has made the right decision. Once his leg is healed, he will once again be the swiftest scout in the Grey Mountains. I don't doubt it. If you wish to join Horan's raiding party, now is the time. I'll await your return from the anvil. Now, unfortunately, I won't be joining them.
We need to ensure Skarhald is ready if Karasgar does return.
There are some things that we need to do to ensure that Skarhald is ready if Karasgar makes good his promise to return. I will see to the repair of the siege defenses and the replacement of the arrows and bolts that we will need in further attacks from the air. But I have something else in mind for you, my friend. You helped us to assess the supplies inside the keep before Karasgar's attack, but I noted more than just the inventory of armor and weapons held within. Do you know what else I saw? The upper levels of the keep were inaccessible, for the stairs had been damaged long ago by the passage of time. Who knows what those rooms and chambers might hold? I asked Kamek and Kozun to find the ladder so that they may search the rear of the Farazar, the keep of Skarhold. So, to them inside the keep, and lend them what aid you can. Alright, I'll go to them. And lend them my aid. I mean, what could possibly go wrong here? I hope that the rest of the area is fine. Hi.
You were sent here by the Longbeard Prince.
Very well.
Very well.
But I will not be responsible for your safety if something were to befall you in these chambers. The vacant rooms of this keep do not seem to hold much danger, but Kozun and I found a tunnel in one of the walls, and a strange sounds echo from the depths. If you do find foes within the keep or that threatening tunnel, do what you can to best them. Whatever lies within will be no friend of any of us, whether we be Longbeards or Joruka or something else entirely. You mean like a hobbit? Alright, so defeat foes and find the entrance to the tunnel in the back. Alright. Wait. We are being invaded by crawlers. I was expecting something more dangerous, like trolls, and orcs, and goblins, and wargs, and drakes. Anything else that's likely to be? And worms, of course. And the other type of worm. Yes. And of course, the other type of worm, as opposed to crawlers. But crawlers? Really? That's what they're worried about. Well, let's see. Now, is there anything up this way? If you're going to see what's in the back, I would presume there'll be more nasties along the way to the back, so I don't have to go out of my way to slay every enemy in existence. Eventually, enough of them will present themselves to me and says, "Hey, slay me! I'm here for you!" Well, okay. First off, I doubt these crawlers can talk. And second of all, I'm sure that they would rather have me for dinner than... Never mind. Yes, it definitely is a throne room. And the thrones are still here. Now, what's behind the throne room? Strange sounds echo from the depths of the winding tunnels. Ooh, crystals! Bats! Alright. I think bats are probably a little bit more close to what I was expecting. I mean, I was expecting drakelings instead of bats, but they're similar things, right? Well, one's a flying dragon kind, the other's a flying mammal, right? Oh, and tunnel claws. Well, of course. I completely forgot about tunnel claws. Of course. What in the world could be more expected in this setting than a bunch of claws? Now, which way should I go? I guess right hand rule, and maybe eventually I will find the exit. Well, how... Geronimo! Of course I... Alright, hold on. I went down there and didn't even twist an ankle. Oh boy! Am I on a resilient day? And now your turn. A crystal bat! I don't see any crystals on you. Alright. I guess it's not intended to be taken that literally. I found the bottom of the tunnel where it empties out into a sloping path and a door. Ooh.
I think this tunnel served as an escape tunnel for the dwarves on Scarhold.
So, Comet sent you. He did not wish to follow me down here, but I do not begrudge him that. His is the path of learning and of books, whereas mine is that of the hammer and the axe. Comets may know more about this than I do, but I think this tunnel served as an escape tunnel for the dwarves of Scarhold. See how it exits among the mountains? I do not know whether ancient dwarves ever made use of it for this purpose, but it does not take much learning to see that an escape tunnel might cut both ways. Dwarves could use it to escape, true, but Karazgar could use it to invade, were he ever to find the entrance. We should collapse the cave mouth, Pineleaf. Here, lend me a hand with this. Alright. Well then. Nice that I carry a pickaxe with me. And none of the rocks fell on my head. Well, let's go back to Durin. Ooh, looks like some people have arrived, including Gandalf. Well, there's also seem to be a few dwarves here. Ooh, it's a red axe.
Look who it is! Are you acquainted with Gandalf the Wizard?
Yes, I've met him from time to time. Oh, I guess I get a Oh, minimum level 120. Well, maybe I better get around to getting to 120.
Gandalf has come to Skarhald with a small band of Longbeards.
Even Hrothgar has come. He's the personal guard of my father the king, and it is most unusual to see him so far from the royal seat. Why have they come here, you ask? They told me of two purposes that brought them hither. First, to stand with us against the dangers of Ered Mithrin, no matter how fearsome. And second, to deliver this. You mean the red axe? Yes, this is the red axe passed down from ancient days and wielded by my grandsire Foot and many battles. When I came here against my father's command, I thought it would never be mine to wield. But Hrothgar says it is not so, and he relayed to me my father's words. Durin, I'm told he said, when you disobeyed my command on the edge of the Dale lands, I was moved to anger and spoke words I'm ashamed to remember. My counselors told me that there was honor in your actions, but I did not see it. Durin, when I consider the history of the Longbeards, I see that no one can choose the times that will test them. I thought to shield you from a dangerous world, my son, but that was a father's ambition, and not the way of a king. Wield the red axe on behalf of our people, and when you return to the lonely mountain on the other side of many victories, all shall know that you are fit to be king under the mountain after me. Go, my son, the red axe is yours. My heart swells to hear my father's confidence, Pineleaf. I will wield the red axe on behalf of both my own people and the Jauruka. Alright. And of course, a couple of enhancements runes here. Well, what do you say, Gandalf?
Yes, I am here.
I have made some progress in deciphering further pages from the Black Book, and I wish to share my discoveries with you. I deemed it wise to request a number of strong warriors to accompany me, and while King Thorin at first refused, in time he came around to my position. He needed a reminder of his people's history, and of the great deeds his forebears accomplished with their resolve was tested. Yes, so is that why the Red Axe was sent? Well, I'm not sure. I do not know where you might have gotten that idea, Pineleaf. King Thorin is welcome to do as he likes. I merely suggested a number of beneficial outcomes that might reach by such a course, and if the king under the mountain agreed with my proposals, certainly he has demonstrated wisdom befitting a king. Oh, Gandalf. But that is behind us, and we should turn to more pressing matters. What is this I have heard about an expedition to the Anvil of Winter's Death? Yes, something about one.
A raiding party of dwarves sought to oppose Karisgard at the Anvil.
Yes, the Anvil of Winter's Death has long been both a blessing and a curse to the dwarves that seek the fortunes of Ered Mithrin. It has a blessing for the years it remained sealed, trapping many dangers behind its frozen surface, and that was the case for most of its history. I say it was a curse, for the periods when it thawed, those loosed evils upon the mountains. I understand that a raiding party of dwarves recently sought to oppose the efforts of Karazgar, the Weeping Warrior, at the Anvil of Winter's Death. Will you find some of these dwarves and hear their report? I will know what befell them at the anvil, for it comes to us most directly. I wonder if this would have been different if I had actually done the raid. I mean, would at least say, hey, bud, you were there, so what you... Yes, it seems that one of these dwarves, Muthro, is recovering from an ordeal northeast of here, and in the upper levels of Skarhold. Speak with him, and ask what happened to his raiding party. Durin has given to me a chamber in the northeast corner for my use while I am at Skarhold. I will meet you there after you have learned what befell the dwarves at Winterstith. Well, based on what I've heard so far, it is not good news. Hello there. How did the raid go?
You wish to hear about Durin's expedition to the Anvil? The memory is painful.
It's painful, for though we achieved some success, many good friends gave their lives at that cursed place and will not return. 24 of us were there, armed with our finest weapons and our strongest armor. Our scout spied Vitug Wintermine flying north above the withered heath, making for the anvil of Wintersteth, and we knew Karazgar drove him thither. The drakes and worms of the Frost Horde seemed to sense their terrible presence behind the frozen surface. Did Karazgar seek to claim this power himself? As we approached the great crack in the anvil, Vitug flew overhead, stirring the frozen winds and madness all around us. Karazgar taunted us, but Longbeard, Jaruka, and Stout Axe alike laughed at him. "Your empty words do not frighten us," we shouted at him. But it is not Karazgar we should have attended at the moment, Pineleaf. For as Vitug drew near through the crack of the anvil, mighty drakes from the Frost Horde sensed the presence of their kin. They flew from the rent in the ice in terrible number, seeking to put an end to their foes of old. Little did they care of our lineage, or for the different families arrayed before us. No, they saw dwarves bedecked in plate and leather, dwarves wielding blade and axe, and that was enough. The fighting was fierce, and by the end of the melee the ice was speckled with blood, that of drake and dwarf alike, but only the warriors of our band remained alive. We were not yet triumphant, though. Before we could so much as catch a breath, a great worm crawled from the crack in the ice. Isvitha the Gluttonous she was called, ancient and hungry, and even as we shouted our war cry, she thanked us for bringing her dinner so near. Oh, how polite of her. But she had not accounted for the sharpness of our dinner knives, and for our own appetite for battle. With the door warden Isvitha slain, the way into the anvil was no longer barred. Karazgar took revenge and steered Vitug Wintermine into the gap. Advantage, we had no choice but to follow. I am fatigued, friend. Perhaps Dolek will continue with the story of our expedition for you. He is to the southwest in the upper level of Skarhold. Alright, so I guess that is what happened up to the first boss. So I'm assuming that that's what that was all about. I suppose this is the story of what happens up to the second boss?
Yes, I fought with Durin at the Anvil of Wintersteth.
We stood among the corpses of frost drakes, and I saw Isvitha the Gluttonous breathe her last. Together with my fellows I strode past the jagged ice and into the great cavern within the anvil itself, following the path taken by Karazgar and Vitug Wintermine. The frozen cavern was not empty, though. It was not contain our prey. Frost-bound hobgoblins and whelps from the Frostfeld stood against us, terrible foes, but of a sort I was unafraid to face. As the last of them fell, I brandished my axe and prepared for whatever evil dared to show itself, knowing that I and my fellows were ready to defy it. I did not know what awaited us. We moved forward into the smooth surface of the long frozen lake, and that is when we saw them. They were arrayed on a ledge above us, a ghostly figure of kings long dead. I swear I recognize some of their number, though many have been dead for hundreds of years or more. Aye, they were kings who vanished seeking the citadel, but instead of finding lost the far Gothal, they perished in the unforgiving north. For many of them, winter's death proved their undoing, and yet there they stood, and I beheld them with my own eyes. Nay, it was not so. Dragon magic lay heavily upon that cavern, moving illusions against us. It chills my heart to remember those desperate fight, but still we pressed on, leaving an unpleasant sight of the fallen kings behind us. Into the frozen maze we stepped, thinking the worst lay behind us. We were wrong. Ebor will tell you more. He is to the northwest. No one wants us to tell us the full story. Oh, there. I was wondering if you could tell me about the Anvil of Winterstead after the Fallen Kings.
How much have the others told you of our expedition?
Up to the Fallen Kings. I'm glad I need not speak of them, Pineleaf. That was cursed dragon magic, I tell you, and unnatural. In the frost maze, we had at last encountered our prey, Karazgar, still astride Vithug Wintermine. We engaged in battle, and this time no strange illusions could stay our assault. With all our strength we leapt at the drake, seeking to carve the record of our battle into his hide. It seems beyond hope at first, but slowly the battle began to turn in our favor. "Give me your power, Karazgar!" the drake cried, "or we will both perish!" But the weeping warrior bears no love for anyone but himself. As the drake at last succumbed to his injuries, with a final breath, Vithug cursed Karazgar. His words echoed against ice and stone, chasing Karazgar deeper into the tunnels of the anvil. If I close my eyes, I swear to you, I can still hear the terrible voice. "Mother," he cried, "avenge me!" Should we have turned back? No dwarf of our company then wished to retreat, but now it is easy for those of us who made it back to Scarhall to say that we should have. But instead, we followed Karazgar, and so it was that we beheld the confrontation with Hремil Frostheart, the brood mother of the Frost Horde, and the herald of winter. I say confrontation, but it was a one-sided affair. Hремil seized him by her jaws and flung him around like a child's toy. She fell upon us then, and that is where so many of our company perished. She leapt into the air and landed upon us in such a force that the very ground beneath us crumbled. We fell a long way, and those of us that survived ran for our lives along the lower tunnel where Hремil pursued us. As we tumbled down the final slope to safety, Hремil sent one frigid blast after us, and the crack of the anvil was sealed. She had trapped herself within, and let us think whatever power caused her to do it, that she might have followed us all the way back to Scarhall. 24 of us went to the anvil that day, Pineleaf, but only 14 dwarves survived. At least Karazgar and Vithug died, and no longer trouble us. That, at least, is a happy result, and Horn's expedition must be deemed a success, despite the lives it cost us. Well, unfortunately, that isn't all that happens, and going to eventually learn more. But that is it for what we've learned so far. What is going to be Gandalf's reaction? We have to find that out in the next episode of The Complete Pineleaf.